Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Diesel, the lone wolf, checking in once again, and we gonna talk about it. So, if you know anything about me, and if you don't know anything about me, I'll tell you. I'm a professional actor, right? I've been acting for what? 2017 is 20 for 8 years now. It's been 8 years since I graduated with my degree in performance, right? And so since then, I've done a whole lot of stuff, including move from a small town in Ohio to the West Coast, which was Washington, Seattle at first, signed with an agent out there, get my whole career started. I worked with agencies out in Atlanta, and now I'm based in LA. And this whole video is just going to be about the top 10 things that you must have if you want to make it in today's industry as a professional actor. All right. So, top 10 things you must have if you want to make it in today's industry as a professional actor. I've been acting full time on and off since I want to say 2018. It's the first time I did nothing but act for a complete year. And then 2019, right before COVID, I was also still acting full time. And then now we're here in 2025 and I'm a full-time actor in LA. Before I was doing this in Seattle. But the tips I'm about to give you right now will work for you no matter what market you're in, what city you're in, what area you're in. All right. So let's jump straight into it. Number one, the very first thing I'm going to tell you you need if you want to be an actor today is a camera or a good phone. You do not have to go get the best camera that you can find. For me, I use my iPhone now. I started off with the camera, and let's just say this before I even tell you what. So back in the day, you used to get the opportunity to go ahead and see people in person when you wanted to audition, right? So you don't have to get the best camera. I used to use a camera and then now I just use my phone. But with that being said, you used to have the ability to get in the room with the casting directors and sometimes the directors with multiple people. So when I first started off, most of my auditions were in person and I would get a chance to be in the room and meet the people who were in charge of giving me the job. After the big C and everyone being sick and everything, a majority of auditions are going to be a video. They just want a video and they want you to send it to them and they want you to send it to them as soon as you can. So having a camera, you have to set it all up and get everything going and get the lights and everything can be kind of cumbersome. If you have an iPhone, let's see, I think an iPhone 12 is what I had when I started shooting all my auditions on my phone, and I had a camera at the time and I still started using just my phone. Now I literally just use my phone and that's all you need. You can get an app if you want. I use Premiere Rush for editing on my phone. You can use iMovie, you feel me? Or you can use the phone and send it to a computer and use free computer software. You can edit your video on Canva, but you need something to take video with. And then next, you're going to need a tripod. No balancing your phone on books, no putting it on the TV stand. $20 tripod equals a game changer. You feel me? It'll just make life so much easier, getting positions easier, adjusting the heights of things so much easier. And with a lot of these videos, they're going to ask you to be at eye level. So if you're trying to prop it up on something, you're not going to be able to do that adequately in all spaces without a tripod. And then third, get a videography light. It's going to save your life. Good lighting makes your performance pop. Ring lights or a softbox. This little light right here is not the only one I'm using, but this is the light that I started off with. And it worked. It did wonders. Now, over to my left, I have a light that I got off of Amazon. I'll go ahead and put a link down below to all of the stuff I'm talking about here. But you need a light. You can spend $50 and get a ring light, and it's beautiful to have them. Next is going to be your professional packaging, right? So headshots, resume, a self-tape or reels. Headshots are crucial. These are your calling card. These are you. Don't want any filters and you don't want to use selfies. Get a professional camera, and paying a professional is worth it. Even if you don't end up using your headshots for your roles, if you want to get management and get taken seriously and move to the next level, they're going to ask if you've ever even had headshots and you have work to show. Showing that you've done headshots before, even if they're not the best, shows that you're going to take initiative and you know what needs to be done. So get professional help. Second is your resume. Keep it clean, keep it concise, list your training, list roles, any special skills you have, and save it as a PDF so you can always come back and edit it. If you don't know how to format your resume, you can look it up online. Do not just walk around with the format you think it should be in. You feel me? And once you have management, they might actually ask you how, or not ask you how, but tell you how to format it. And if you have any questions on how it should be formatted, go ahead and let me know. I can give you guys an example of one, right? But keep it clean, keep it concise. If you haven't had a whole lot of acting roles and experiences, you can just list the things you've done for training. You feel me? You can list the classes you've taken. And if you have special skills like you rollerblade, you can do a backflip, one-handed push-ups, small things like that can go a long way and be the reason you get the role. So make sure you put those on your resume as well. Any special skill or training you have. I just had an audition the other day for a photographer because I'm actually a photographer and it's on my resume, and I have a folder, or I have a photo of me taking photos, right? And third is going to be a reel or a self-tape. Even if it's just from a class, people just want to see you. That's it. They want to see how you are on camera and see if you present normal and if you can talk normally. So the better quality video that you can present, the better off you'll be. And you don't have to have a reel that shows you in a movie and then this scene and an action scene. If you have self-tapes that you've done for auditions, you can use those. If you've never sent a self-tape for an audition, you can start by learning a script, learning a monologue, and preparing that and doing it on camera as well as you can, and compile a couple of those. Once you get a couple of different auditions, you put all the auditions together, clips and snippets of them, and now you have a reel. I'll go ahead and put a pop-up example of my headshots, a resume format, and a preview of my reel. You feel me? I might just make a whole nother folder. I think that's what I'll do. I'll make a whole nother folder and just put my content in there so you guys can look at it, right? And then this honestly should be number one in my opinion, but people want an actual actionable list, right? So I gave you the things you can go get first, and then the things that you need to work towards having next, right? Third, these are things you can just have within you. A positive attitude is the biggest thing I'm going to tell you you need. That partnered with resilience. Rejection is a part of this journey. Do not take it personally and stay ready. For me personally, like I said, I was full-time and then I went to part-time and then I had to do other things and now I'm back at full-time. It's an up and down journey, and the amount of auditions that I've had and never heard anything back from, oh my God, if I let that affect me and I took it personally, I would not still be doing this 8 years later, because just me getting my first role took over 6 months once I got out of school for it. You feel me? And I had to leave the town I was even from. But it's possible. You just have to stay down. Even with what I'm doing now, I didn't know I was going to get booked. Once I talked to the people who did the casting and everything, they told me that they auditioned over 5,000 people just to send out a second round of auditions to about 300 people. From that round of 300 people, they cut it down to less than 50. You're not always going to make the cut. So being positive and keeping a positive attitude through all the ups and downs is the number one thing that you have to keep in mind when you're joining this. If you go on IMDb, you can look, there are over a million actors who are actively in the game. You can't take it personally. The second thing you're going to need is ingenuity. You are more than just an actor. Be a creator. You feel me? Understand how characters work. Start writing your own scripts. Start reading script writing books. Learn about directing. Learn about lighting. The more that you know about the process, the more different angles you can bring into the game. You feel me? The more you know about the process and the craft, the more valuable you are to the production, because you're not just thinking about what you have to do. You're aware of how the lights work. You're aware of the angling and the direction. So there's a little bit less that has to be taught and coached because you're already aware of what's going on. So be more than just an actor and take initiative. Post random content, make yourself visible, build your visibility. You can write your own script for a monologue and then do that video and take a clip of that and put it on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube to showcase your acting skills. You feel me? Just think outside the box. I literally was just on TikTok making content, and I ended up being featured on Fox Network just because of my TikTok video and what I was talking about in it. You never know when the opportunity is going to arise. That's why in the first section I said, stay ready. Don't take it personal. Stay ready. Create the opportunities and make yourself visible. Next, WeTransfer, Google Drive, and essentially just storage platforms. Since you're going to be doing self-tapes, you're going to have to be able to clean files and don't just put them in the email. You never send your videos or photos off to casting in an email. You always send a link. Part of this is because you want to make sure that the content is the highest quality possible. Every time you send content in an email, it's getting dumbed down. When you send it via WeTransfer or Google Drive, it's maintaining more of the resolution, and that is the most important part of sending over video content, is maintaining the resolution and the quality, right? So get familiar with these platforms and how to send files back and forth. And then number 10 is honestly super crucial as well. Casting profiles and being proactive in your search for roles. Now that we have self-tapes and we have the internet, it's so much easier for you to start being in control of your career, because you can just go online and start seeing what it is you need and start seeing what jobs are readily casting and put yourself up. Right now, I'm being shown across the US, different states, all because of being able to look at a posting on one of these websites. So you have Actors Access. Actors Access is going to be more for theatrical stuff, right? And it's going to be more for roles where you actually have to say things and act. We love that. There's Backstage. Backstage is going to be a mix between Actors Access and Casting Networks, what I'll get to. And they have things from theater postings to actual commercials. I don't use Backstage that much. I used to, but it still works and it does have jobs. And then third is Casting Networks. This is the one that I use the most and is the one I'm going to tell you to get the most, because the role I was talking about was posted on Casting Networks first, and now I got it. You feel me? And so Casting Networks, you're going to be able to look at roles, apply to roles. It'll give you a way to format all of your information into a resume. And then you're able to take these profiles, Actor Access and Casting Networks, and send the links directly to casting so they can see all of your photos. You could upload video content right there, and they can just see a little bit about what you've done and who you are and what media you have available right then and there without having to get your resume from you. And you can stay updated with what's going on, and you have more chances of staying booked because you're actively on it. You can go on there and submit 50 times in one day. All three of these websites you can go on and submit to every single day as soon as postings come up, right? And so with that being said, if you want to go ahead and build your acting career, now is the perfect time. You don't have to wait for anything in today's age. As long as you have a decent camera and access to a computer, you can start putting your hat in the ring. You feel me? So my bonus tip is going to be find your tribe. Find people who are like-minded, who want to do the same thing as you. If necessary, get into a class, build with other actors, and don't be afraid to ask for help. This industry rewards the people who are prepared, period. You got this. For me personally, I didn't start seeing the fruits of my labor until I got into a class with other actors and they told me to, hey, do this. Or I saw this on a website. Backstage, someone told me, I saw a posting on Backstage, I think you should apply. I applied to it, and that put me into the whole ring of being noticed by other people who are also acting and building my career up into what it is now. So get out there, you got this, and let me know if there's anything else you want to know. Drop a comment with your number one must-have and send this to somebody who needs to hear it. Hit subscribe for more. And if you enjoyed what I am doing, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on all platforms. It's going to be Chuck, DIESELTLW. That's Chuck Diesel, the Lone Wolf. I'll go ahead and put a link in the description as well. Diesel out. Oh yeah, not out. Hit me up with any questions. Let me know what y'all want to know. And if you need examples of anything, feel free to ask for those too. I got you.